Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the 5-Minute Major, where we debate the hottest topics in sports. Paul Friesen and Kirk Penton join me at the round table. I'm Sun Sports editor Ted Wyman. We're going to talk about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a team on a 3-game winning streak. Very impressive 3-game winning streak. We've all been very hard on the Bombers and Mike Kelly this year, but you got to give them some credit. They are playing quite well now. My big question right now is they got a big game against the BC Lions here on Sunday. Will the fans return and fill the house now that this team is not looking so miserable?
It's a very good question. Paul, do you want to take this one?
Are you looking for predictions?
You want a number?
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't think they'll fill the house.
No.
Let's face it, it's still the Bombers. Sellouts are rare.
Yes.
It's that time of year. The weather's turned. It's not a comfortable place. So, no, I'd be shocked if there's a sellout. That doesn't mean they can't get a nice, robust 28,000.
They must have won some fans back with their performance, especially against Hamilton on Monday.
Yeah, there will be a few more, but there's still that percentage out there who aren't on board with Mike Kelly yet, even though they're winning.
Winning will cure that, though, eventually.
How long is it going to take, though?
That's a good question.
Because even after they'd won a couple games, people were still emailing me saying,
It's
I
true.
won't go because of him.
I know. I talked
Which
to
is
people
weird.
At Thanksgiving who were saying,
Really?
we just don't like that guy. And that's but he has been a kinder, gentler version of himself in the recent weeks, and we've all agreed that has been somewhat of a contributor to the team's turnaround. That he just seems to have gone away from the pugilism and the focus on being combative with the media and with everybody and just concentrating on football. That's part of the turnaround. Another part of it is he's handed off the offense to Manny Matsakis. How much has that played a role?
Well, I think it's played a lot. They've put more emotion into the offense, and
Tons of motion.
And Bishop says that's the key. Bishop says looks like a CFL offense now. He's basically said it was bad before, and it's working. I don't want to damper the parade or too much, but it was Hamilton who's been playing pretty poorly, and it was Edmonton who had quite a few injuries.
But even after the
and
Edmonton
it was Toronto.
Even after those two games, you guys both said the offense still wasn't working. This last game, that looked like a really good offense. Like they did great on the plays that were scripted, and they did great on the plays that weren't scripted with fine scrambling from Michael Bishop.
And last week, Kirk, you and I both said if they can win this one on the road in Hamilton, then they're turning the corner.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with that. They're turning the corner.
They have started to turn
it.
the corner.
They've turned it.
They've turned it?
They've turned it.
The thing about their offense
They
that I
need to
noticed
beat-
is that they earlier in the season they were using a lot of motion. It seemed like they were just confusing themselves.
Wow.
In this last game, they used a lot of motion, and they actually were confusing the opposing defense.
The thing was they were just using a very simple, the fly thing where they have the two backs in the back and then one receiver coming through. They used that one as much as they possibly could, and it's different now. All the receivers are now moving more, and that's confusing the defense.
Who do they need to beat for you to be convinced? We're just going to say that.
I'm not going to. Well, I mean, I could make up. They are a lot better, and the offense is a lot better. I'll give them that. But, I mean, this team still has to beat or put a scare into somebody really good, like Saskatchewan, Calgary, or Montreal.
And they're
going to find
qualify?
out.
Being
Well,
the team that
BC
gave up
is
800 yards
7-7.
rushing against the Bombers?
BC is 7-7. If I don't even know if they're going to be favored against the Lions this week. And that's, it's taking the bookies a long time to buy into these Bombers, too. And I think that's why, because they haven't beaten a real solid team.
Yeah, I look back at
I
those
still give them
games-
credit, but they still have to beat a real solid team
Yeah.
to be convinced that they are up there.
I look back at those games against Saskatchewan where they just didn't look in the same league, and then against Montreal. Those are the two first-place teams right now.
Yeah.
And, that is concerning.
Am
They've
I
gotta do
wrong?
something.
Am I wrong in that assessment?
And are we going to know if they beat Montreal down the stretch here?
Well-
Montreal has nothing to play for again. You're not going to know
But
for
Montreal's
sure.
still going all out.
We're not now deluding ourselves by thinking they're Grey Cup contenders. That's not what this conversation, I hope,
They're
is
certainly
about.
second-place contenders.
They're at least, but in the CFL.
Home
So
playoff
how
game.
good are they
CFL East
overall?
was second place
How
win.
good are they overall?
Overall, there's no reason to think they're anywhere near Montreal's league yet.
No.
Then again, no one is.
But they were at the bottom of the barrel.
That's
they're just
true.
a decent team right now.
Yeah.
Give them that.
Yeah.
No more.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for a spirited conversation here on the 5-Minute Major, which
Check
will
back
end
next week.
before 5 minutes for the first time ever, I believe.
That's good.
I may actually pick the Bombers to win this week.
Really?
I'm thinking
All right.
about it.
Okay, well, we'll see that in our CFL picks in the paper this week.
Yes.
Thanks very much for joining us on the 5 Minute Major. We'll talk to you again next week.